This is an ASMR true crime story, one of the darkest mysteries in Vietnamese history. A true crime, ASMR, dark story that begins somewhere in southern Vietnam. Between 1998 and 2001, 13 people died. Each death was recorded as natural causes. Each funeral was quiet, and at nearly every single one of them, the same woman was present. Her name was Lê Thanh Vân, and this is her true crime story. Before I tell you about the woman they called the Cyanide Witch, I want you to know about the people she took from this world. A mother-in-law who welcomed her into her home. A brother-in-law who trusted her. A woman whose only connection to Lê Thanh Vân was that she owed her money and couldn't pay it back. 13 confirmed victims, ordinary people, most of them connected to her through family, work, or community, exactly the relationships Vietnamese society is built upon. Their names deserve to be remembered. Vo Thi Le. She was Von's own mother-in-law, a woman who had welcomed her into her family home. She was the first. Quach Cam Min, a security guard, a working man trying to make a living. Lê Văn Cam, her brother-in-law, a member of the family that had accepted her. Ho Thi Mong Jiao, a woman whose only connection to Van was a debt she could not repay. Nguyen Than Son, Nguyen Van Jong, Tran Thi Shin. 3 more lives, taken in the year 2000 alone. Each one of them trusted her. Each one of them had no reason not to. But for many of them, the cause of death on their medical record simply read, natural causes. Nobody suspected. Not for years. Now let me tell you about her. Lê Thanh Vân was born on the 5th of December, 1956. She was resourceful, clever, adaptable. She'd spent time studying at a medical school in Ho Chi Minh City, enough to understand medicine, dosages, and the human body. She knew how to present herself as trustworthy. Over the years, she took on different identities, at times presenting herself as a healthcare worker, a caregiver, a helpful neighbor. Her criminal history actually began decades earlier. Her first arrest on record was in December 1979 for impersonating an army captain. Impersonation, deception, the performance of authority. These were her tools long before cyanide ever was. The murders we know about began in 1998. They continued through 1999, 2000, and into 2001. Each time, the pattern was the same. She would position herself close to her target. She would wait for the right moment, and she would place cyanide, a substance so potent that less than 1/5 of a gram is lethal, into their food or drink. Victims fell ill quickly. Dizziness, nausea, difficulty breathing. By the time doctors arrived, it was already too late. And because Vietnamese hospitals in this era lacked the forensic toxicology infrastructure to test for poisoning routinely, most deaths were attributed to sudden illness. She was rarely even questioned. She was the one who called for help. She was always the first to help. What did she take from them? A motorcycle here, a cassette radio there, a mobile phone, a small piece of land. In total, across 13 murders, spanning 3 years, she stole the equivalent of approximately $15,000 US. $15,000, 13 lives. In July of 2000, after 9 people had already lost their lives, police arrested Lê Thanh Vân for the first time. Searching her handbag, they found 2.8 grams of cyanide. Charges of murder and robbery were filed. She was detained. Then the toxicology reports came back. The laboratory found that the cyanide in her bag did not chemically match the substance detected in the 2 victims they had tested. The evidence was considered insufficient to hold her. on January 15th, 2001, she was released on bail. She walked out of that detention center, and within weeks, she killed again. From the moment of her release through to October 2001, 4 more people lost their lives, 4 more families, because a laboratory result had a gap that the law could not close. This is one of the most important details of this case, not because it is dramatic, but because it is a story about systems, about what happens when forensic science cannot yet keep up with the crime in front of it. Vietnam in 2001 was still building its forensic infrastructure, and in that gap, 4 more people died. She was rearrested in late 2001. This time, investigators had built a case across multiple provinces and multiple victims, enough that no single toxicology result could unravel it. The trial opened on August 25th, 2004, at the People's Court of Binh Duong Province. It became historic immediately. For the first time in Vietnam's judicial history, a single defendant stood trial charged with murdering 13 people. International media arrived. Legal scholars watched closely. Vietnam's entire justice system was being tested in a courtroom that had never faced anything like this before. Van maintained her innocence throughout, claiming she had only ever been present to assist victims in getting to hospital. The court found otherwise. On September 1st, 2004, she was sentenced to death on 3 charges: murder, robbery, and illegal possession of poison. Her accomplice and husband, Dieu Dun Quang, received 21 years, later reduced to 17 on appeal, for his role in one of the murders. During her appeal hearing on February 1st, 2005, Van admitted to 2 of the murders and to illegally possessing cyanide, but continued to deny the remaining 11 convictions. Her sentence was upheld. A pardon request filed to President Tran Duc Luong was denied. She was executed on October 26, 2005. She was 48 years old. What stayed with me about this case is not the crimes themselves. It is the question of what allowed them to continue for so long. Vietnamese society in the late 1990s was built on closeness, on community, on shared meals, on trusting the people around you. That same closeness made it almost impossible to imagine that someone could weaponize it so deliberately. And the forensic gap, the moment the system had her in custody and let her go, that is a story about what happens when institutions are not yet ready for the crime in front of them. In the decade that followed, Vietnam began reforming its criminal procedure laws. Forensic toxicology standards were strengthened. Interprovincial case coordination, the very gap that allowed Van to kill across multiple jurisdictions undetected, became a structured part of how serious crimes are investigated. By 2015, Vietnam's Criminal Procedure Code formally recognized new categories of evidence and standardized how scientific findings could be used in court. A case that broke the system, quietly rebuilt it. 13 people trusted someone who had positioned herself as safe, and the world they left behind changed the system that failed to protect them. Thank you for watching.